Today I'm going to show you how to install a new brake line and bleed all the air out of that bad boy so you have rock solid brakes. If you haven't ordered your new brake line yet, check out my video on how to measure, make sure you're getting the right length. I know working on brakes makes people nervous, but I promise you, it's really a piece of cake and you can definitely do this in your own garage. Alright, I received the new brake line from Magnum. Came with the new brake line and the necessary washers. The stock brake line gets the job done, but with dull hardware and a vinyl case line, it definitely leaves something to be desired. Magnum makes a high-performance Kevlar brake line and then covers it in a killer braid. The braids come in an assortment of finishes, and you can choose between chrome and black chrome fittings. With some 3/16 inch tubing and an old bottle, you can make a receptacle to drain all the brake fluid so you can remove the brake line. This will also work well for bleeding your brakes later. Remove the bleeder dust cap. Then attach the hose to the bleeder valve on the front caliper. You are now ready to drain the brake fluid from your front brake line. You can now remove the cover to your master cylinder. Take precautions and cover your tank and other parts just in case some brake fluid gets away from you. Use a baster or a syringe to remove the fluid from the master cylinder. You can then evacuate the rest of the brake fluid from the system by opening the bleeder valve, pumping, and then holding the brake lever. Continue doing this until the line is completely empty. You should see brake fluid pumping into the receptacle. Once it's empty, close the bleeder valve. Now that you've evacuated all the brake fluid from the line, you can begin removing the banjo bolts from the caliper and the master cylinder. You'll also need to remove a couple of brackets holding the brake line in place, and I'll show you how you can reuse these on the new line later. Magnum's brake lines are called Easy Align because you can rotate the fittings as needed. This not only makes the installation easy, it also ensures that you won't have any kinks. Soft copper crush washers are used on each side of the banjo fitting to ensure a seal. Use small diagonal cutters to remove the rubber grommet from the stock brake line. It can be reused to protect the new brake line with the original bracket. I'm going to show you how to bleed the brakes manually, and you can do this by yourself as long as you can reach the brake lever and the bleeder valve at the same time. But if you plan on maintaining your own brakes in the future, or you might be doing another install, I think it's worthwhile to pick up a Mighty Vac, or if you have a compressor, a pneumatic vacuum bleeder. It just makes simple work of bleeding the brakes. A 12-ounce bottle of brake fluid will more than do the job. Brake fluid is relatively inexpensive, so I splurge and spend an extra buck or two and get the synthetic stuff. You start by filling the master cylinder with brake fluid. To bleed the air out of the line, pump and hold the brake lever. Then, open the bleeder valve for just a few seconds. It will take many cycles on a new line, but once you get straight fluid and you stop seeing air bubbles, you are nearly done.
You continue this cycle of creating pressure with the brake lever and then releasing the pressure through the bleeder valve. While doing this, you need to ensure that the master cylinder does not empty of brake fluid, because this will introduce more air into the line.
If you feel like you've bled all the air out of the line that you can, the last thing you're going to want to do is zip tie your brake lever open and just leave it overnight. And all the air bubbles that are left in the line, if any, will rise up to the master cylinder. You'll feel it when you come out in the morning. That thing will be rock solid. Alright, that'll do it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't checked out the video on how to install throttle cables, you can check that out here. I'm Chainsaw from Granite City Riders. Thanks for watching.